Hi, welcome back to the channel. In this video, me and Ed are going to go and explore our childhood homes. We're going to visit Stratford-upon-Avon, Cambridge and Clacton-On-Sea.
Didn't expect sun, did we? I didn't even bring my sunglasses, so that's great.
And I'm super excited because I'm going to get to stay in the hotel that I used to live in as a kid. We're going to also get to see all of the old historical buildings in Stratford-upon-Avon where Shakespeare was born.
William Shakespeare himself.
Also where Ed used to live. So let's go and explore.
Hello. So we've just arrived. We're on a little road trip of our childhood places, aren't we?
And growing up.
And growing up, yes.
Yeah.
So we're going to go and visit where Ed used to
Work?
when you worked, when you were a younger teenager.
No, as a like when I was in my 20s.
Ah, in your 20s.
Yeah, so we're in Henley-in-Arden, which is a little village near Stratford-on-Avon, and already it's changed like a lot. I can see, I used to work for Lloyd's Bank, and it looks like it has been turned into a kitchen and bathroom shop, and our big competitor, lol, was NatWest, which looks like it's now a Costa. So yeah, it'd be interesting just to walk around,
Yeah,
see what
explore.
it's like.
Go down memory lane. So here we are in Henley-upon-Thames? No?
Henley-in-Arden.
Henley-in-Arden. Henley-upon-Thames is a different place.
Henley-in-Arden
Henley-in-Arden.
is in the forest of.
And look at these windows here. I don't know if you can see it on this camera angle. The window's like bending because the wood is warped here, which is super interesting. If you put this like this, you'll start to see. Whereas then you go to this window and you can see that the windows are completely flat. It's so weird. There's a lot of history here, isn't there, Ed?
Yeah, a lot of history. It's a very old town.
Yeah. So where are we going to go next?
We could walk down to the train station.
Okay. There's going to be some interesting sights on the way to the train station.
Maybe. So what's very interesting about walking along here is I was looking at Google Maps and thinking, oh, there must be a more direct way to the train station. And it kind of reminded me that when I was doing this trip 15 years ago, I didn't have a smartphone, and possibly even Google Maps wasn't a thing. So it's really interesting being like, I didn't really have a concept of how the town was laid out. I just knew how to get about. So it's very strange seeing what a detour this actually is to get to the train station.
So where are we now then? Is the train station up here?
The train station's up here, and I just remember like walking up this hill so many times in the cold and the wet, and also on a nice spring day as well. Yeah, and if I remember, there's like a little ginnel that takes you up to the train station.
Like a cut through,
Yeah.
like a back path for people who maybe not from the north, don't know what a ginnel is,
Oh yeah, sorry.
or if you're not from the UK. It's not actually that much of a steep hill. Oh, I just got to look then.
I think you go right.
Okay.
So Henley-in-Arden is famous because it is the town that Shakespeare's mother was from. So yeah, there's lots of connections to Shakespeare in this town. It's also a very typical town of the area. The in-Arden bit was the Arden Forest, or the Forest of Arden, and I think possibly even by Shakespeare's time the forest had mostly disappeared and been turned into wooden products and cleared for farmland. But
Oh wow, look at this cute little train station here.
yeah, they've really
Got a lot of the old signs.
all of this is like, no, this was
Hi. What was it like then before?
Remember, obviously this is very old. I remember this building here.
Yeah.
It was quite run down. Just a bit run down and a bit overgrown.
Not all these flowers over here.
Don't remember them, no.
There's my stones.
Certainly don't remember the night. There would have been a bridge, but not a nice one like this.
Ah, Cayman stuff. Interesting. There's actually a community bar in there, which is never seen that before. So, explain to me about this symbol on top of this building.
So, the bear is the symbol of Warwickshire, and it is a bear that has been chained to a log because the sport of the county was bear baiting until I think the Victorian era, or possibly a bit earlier.
And bear baiting is?
Bear baiting is essentially where you tie a bear, chain a bear up and torture it by releasing dogs and other animals.
Poor bears. Hi guys. Look at all the sheep. So we've arrived into Stratford-upon-Avon, haven't we?
We have.
Where are we now?
We are by the Countess of Evesham, which was my first job working on a river. And yeah, this is a restaurant boat. And had many fun times working here. Wonderful people.
So you would serve people food in the boat?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, seat 44 people, I think.
Wow.
And I did most of the jobs in the end. I ended up did a little bit behind the bar, I did some serving, and I started off washing pots in the kitchen and also crewing as well. In fact, my first job was crewing.
What's crewing?
Crewing is just like working the locks and helping people on and off the boat and tying up. So I learned to tie ropes.
And so you would take the boat through the lock?
Through the lock, and in the summer there might be like 500 people, like tourists all crowded round. So we take the boat through the lock, out onto the river,
yeah,
and then down to a place called Stratford-upon-Avon. Okay. And you turn it around and then come all the way back up.
Interesting.
Yep. Take about 3 hours in total.
Behind us here is your old bank.
It's Lloyd's Bank. It was the first kind of contracted job I got, and like a plucky 19-year-old or 18-year-old, whatever I was, I walked past one day and I was like, I just want to work in there. And so I walked in and said, do you have any jobs? And they went, oh, actually we are looking for some cashiers. And said, what do I need to do? I said, well, just bring your CV. And so I turned up with my CV.
But what I want to know is why you wouldn't have gone to that bank over there. The one that looks like a chapel.
I don't know, just I like the colour of this one. Quite simple.
Okay then, so that's why Ed ended up working here. So we're stood in front of Shakespeare's house, yes?
Shakespeare's birthplace.
Shakespeare's birthplace,
yeah.
Where he was born in this house.
He was, well, kind of. Got mostly destroyed and had to be rebuilt in the 1800s, but we don't tell the tourists that.
No, as far as they're concerned, it's the original house, not the one that was rebuilt.
A very, very fine looking chimney.
It's had some work done, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But then there's also this Christmas shop, which you're a huge fan of, aren't you?
Well, I remember when it opened and everyone was like, oh my god, it's never going to last, absolutely never going to last. And that was like more than 20 years ago. And yeah, they just, it's a year-round Christmas shop selling Christmas, all your Christmas gadgetry and items. If it's sparkly and tinsely and vaguely alpine themed, you can buy it there.
And here he is, not Ed in the background, but Shakespeare. William Shakespeare himself. Go on, Ed, tell us some interesting stuff about William Shakespeare.
He was born here on the 23rd of April, 15 something or other, and he died in Stratford on the 23rd of April, 16 something or other, and he died on his birthday. Most of his life he actually lived in London.
And that's the part that people don't want you to know, because actually he was born in the house just over there behind us,
And didn't really
died here, but apart from that, and he lived with his wife Anne.
Yeah, he lived with his wife Anne in a place called Shottery, just outside of the town centre, which we might visit tomorrow because I used to live very close to there in a council house there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he bought a lot of land with a lot of the money he made, and he bought a lot of properties here. Bought a house for his mother to live in a place called Wolvercut.
That's nice of him.
It's very nice. Bought his mother a house. He bought his partner a house, and then he died.
His partner called Anne Hathaway, not to be confused with the current actress Anne Hathaway, because he was alive a lot earlier than she was even born, and there's no relation.
No.
I've already asked that question.
I don't think she is. She might be. Who knows? Anne, do you know? Are you watching this? So these are the almshouses.
Yeah. Tell me about the almshouses.
So these almshouses were built in the early 1400s, and they were, I guess, a kind of an early form of social housing, except because they were administered by the church, it was only the deserving poor that got access to housing here. So much like today, really.
And it's so big. This building is like, I'm going to try and take it all the way back so you can see how long it is. It's crazy. It goes all the way from over there, and then it goes all the way down there. It's a massive engineering feat to think about the time when it was actually built. So our first hotel that we're staying in is the Macdonald Alveston Manor in Stratford-upon-Avon, and big plus, they have electric car charging ports, which is very good. Took about maybe 10 minutes to get it to work, but that's actually quick on electric charging standards on our experience, so we're happy about that. Let's show you a room in a minute. So we've just checked into our room at the Macdonald Alveston Manor Hotel. I'm gonna have a look. We're in room 207, and got a nice big double bed there, bedside tables. Got a nice jug there for some drink via the car park, but to be honest, the best thing about this room is that it's right next door to the spa facilities where you can use a swimming pool. I think there's a jacuzzi, we're going to find out, and you've also got a TV, desk, although no chair, that's odd.
Lots of hangers.
Lots of hangers in the cloakroom there, iron, which is great. And then pretty standard bathroom, really, what you would expect from, yeah, it's not bad. I think our room was £110, maybe £120 for the night, so it's not on the cheap side, but also in Stratford you're going to really struggle to find cheap hotels right in the city. So I think it's not too bad for the price, but I don't know, let me know in the comments, have we been robbed? On a closer inspection of the room, I've just been using the remote to switch on the TV. I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but it looks like the remote hasn't been cleaned, and it hasn't been cleaned in some time. As you can see there's like a dirt or coffee stain, it looks like, and then there's also another kind of legit like other stain there as well, which is a real shame because like the room standard generally is okay, like it's quite clean, but that's just a bit disappointing that they haven't wiped that remote down. It looks like for quite some time. Good morning. It's now day 2 of our road trip adventure, and
Day two,
and yeah, I found this bed very comfy last night. I probably slept for maybe about 10 hours. Ed, not so much, right?
Oh, it's just a bit warm. I was just a bit baked, so, and I think the curry was quite stimulating last night. So I got about 5 hours sleep, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you did some work, didn't you, overnight? But yeah, the curry last night was amazing. You were saying one of the best curries you've had for a long, long time, just on the high street in Stratford.
On Cheap Street. It's called Thespians.
Thespian's Indian restaurant. Super tasty. But it just makes it look like all we do is eat food, because now we're off for breakfast.
Breakfast.
So let's see what that's like. Got some fruit salad, amazing. Got some breakfast cereal. Got some donuts, little mini donuts. Got some cheese. Some cured ham. Got a gluten-free section, that's good to see. Also got some dates and bananas and jams. And also some prunes. Oh, there's some pastries over here. Got like croissants. Very tasty. What are you getting?
I'm getting some yogurt.
A little plunger. This is the Macdonald English breakfast. We've got a hash brown there. Well, it's not hash brown, is it? It's like a pancake. Scottish pancake.
Potato cake.
Potato cake. Scrambled eggs. Got mushrooms. Big beans, bacon, got toast. The eggs vegan breakfast looks nice. You've got like a little mini Hackett over there, haven't you? Which is interesting.
And some scrambled eggs, making it not very vegan.
Making it not vegan, but kind of vegan, just not full vegan. So, the spa. What was the verdict on the spa?
Yeah, like it was an average, slightly undercared for hotel spa. So the sauna, nice and hot, really nice. The steam room was tepid and a bit smelly.
Yeah, it didn't have any aromatherapy smell either, which was, whenever I've been in a steam room, that's what you expect.
Yeah, it just kind of, it smelled like damp and mould. And the pool was fine, but quite a small area, so it was quite noisy.
Also, it was like, interestingly, the pool here is all the same depth, the entire length of the pool, which I'm kind of used to, like being able to submerge myself a bit more in water, which was an interesting experience, something different. I think what let it down is it would have been really nice if there was just a jacuzzi, because I just like the cycle of jacuzzi, steam room, sauna, pool, but that wasn't there in this one. But I mean, it was included within the room, which is nice. A lot of hotels will charge you extra to use it, but you can use that and the gym included. I didn't actually get to go to the gym. I brought my stuff, but yeah.
But it was really nice to be able to like stretch properly, like going for a nice swim. So it was something to really be grateful for. And so was the sauna. The sauna was lovely, and the changing rooms were super clean, and the lockers were easy to use, and the staff were super friendly. So yeah, plenty to be grateful for.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend this hotel, wouldn't we, if you were coming to Stratford?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, if you're driving, there's quite a lot of parking spaces here. The parking is cheaper than paying to park in one of the car parks for 24 hours, and the breakfast is good, and the bed, I found the bed was super comfy. So,
yeah. And the bed was very comfy.
Yeah.
I just didn't sleep very well in it. That's me, not the bed.
So, welcome guys to
the rural Oxfordshire village of King's Sutton.
So this is where you used to live when you were younger?
Yep. This was, I think, the second house we lived in. I don't remember the first one, I was too tiny. So I've got memories of being a really small kid here.
And you've got lots of nice little houses, like country vibes.
It's like a very beautiful old church, it's a little rural Oxfordshire idyll. And then on this phone post, telegraph post,
what is it?
that there's a drag show being held at the primary school.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, gosh, we wish that would have been a thing when we were younger.
I know,
so much
right?
inclusivity and acceptance. It's a different time of day now, as you can tell. It's a lot darker.
We're in Essex.
We're in Essex, Colchester to be precise. Waiting for the car to charge as usual.
But this is one of the fastest car chargers we've ever used.
We've only been plugged in. We've only been plugged in for what, 35 minutes. We went from 17% to almost 80% in 35 minutes, which is
super fast.
only just enough time to get a Greg's cup of tea.
It is. We've got about half an hour to go, haven't we, until we get to
Clacton-On-Sea.
Clacton-On-Sea.
About 20 minutes, yeah. Oh, we're done.
We're done. We're on the. Let's get going. So we're staying in room number 19. Come on through. It's quite nice and spacious, actually. Got bed here. For me, the amazing thing about this room is the view of the sea, and it's a corner room, so you've got loads of windows, loads of natural light. Let me just show you the best feature, really. That's the sea right there. You just literally go down the ramp to the beach. There's also a little hut there. You can sit and watch the sea. And so, yeah, double room or double bed, TV, wardrobe space, also a desk, and also an amazing mirror that if you're sat here working, you can actually see the sea through the reflection. And then you've got more sea views here on this side. A little chair in the corner, and then a very sizable bathroom with a huge shower, 2 different shower heads. Very nice. Room 19, if you're going to stay at the Kingscliff Hotel, I'd recommend this one with a sea view if you can request it. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Let's head downstairs. So we've come down the ramp and to the beach, where you've got the summer huts that people can own, and this is where you would come and sit outside in the summer when it's a bit warmer and less windier than this, and enjoy views of the beach. Watching people promenade up and down here. I wonder how much this one is actually for sale at the moment. Should I have a look online and see how much it would cost to have a little shelter on the beach. You can see over in the distance there Clacton Pier, which we'll be going to in a bit. Yeah, you can see all the windmills as well. The electric windmills over in the distance. Now, when I was a kid, they weren't here, but they generate a lot of power, so they're vital, really. It divides people. A lot of people who live here don't like having these windmills out at sea, but they're so far away, they do kind of blend in, apart from the ones maybe you can see closer, and they're quite uniform as well. I mean, I personally like them. I think we need them for energy. We have to accept there's some compromise. Oh, if you found out how much it is.
So this fabulous beach hut could be yours for a cool £35,000. Bargain.
Wow. That's like a deposit on a house, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. But your views would be this. Just sit here with your deck chairs, watching people go by. We have just checked out of the Kingscliff Hotel, my old abode from the 90s, and we're now going to do a bit of exploring, aren't we? We're going to head into Clacton-On-Sea, which many people will know. It is a seaside resort destination, and we're then going to maybe try and check out Frinton-on-Sea and maybe even Walton on the Naze if we get a chance. It is very posh. So yeah, we're going to have a look at some places which I remember from being a kid. Let's see how this goes. Yay! Yeah! Can you hear me, Ed? Can you hear me? I can hear you. Can you hear me? I can hear you, Ed. That's cool. So we're now in Clacton-on-Sea, which is the seaside resort, and it's funny, isn't it, what you remember? Like, I remember these little guys here, the little seating areas where you can come and sit and just watch the sea, and also these gardens. There's loads of these gardens on the promenade here in Clacton. I think there's actually a picture me and my sister have eating some sandwiches over there.
Oh yeah?
In coats, yeah.
In the wind.
And then, yeah, in the wind. And then we've got this Clacton Pier here. So we're going to head onto the pier in a bit. It's quite a windy day today, very cold. That's why I've got the hat on. Here we are, Clacton-on-Sea.
Positively burning the eyes, it's so bright.
Didn't expect sun, did we?
At all.
I didn't even bring my sunglasses, so that's great. So, we are on Clacton Pier. It is very windy, so I don't know how much of this is actually going to be you're going to be able to hear. We've got Ed over here. Filming me, filming him. So yeah, piers are places where loads of people come to for holidays, especially in the summer when it's a lot warmer than this. So literally got the sea right there, just loads and loads of sea. You can get a great view all the way along the coast. See if we can go all the way around. Like, a lot of places are shut in the winter. This is one of the things that I forget. When I used to live here as a kid, everything was rosy and everything was amazing. It was sunny every day, it was beautiful, and there was beach time. But actually, the reality was that in the summer it was very busy, full of tourists, traffic was crazy, and in the winter everything's shut and people weren't working because a lot of the jobs around Clacton were all based on tourism. And all based on people coming here in the summer. So in the winter everything shuts down and it's dead. And I kind of forget that in my brain until I come here out of season and remember that, yeah, everywhere is empty and not really open at this time of year. So I mean, I'm visiting in March, but the season won't really kick off until May. Or when the kids break up from holidays in school. Or you can still go all the way out there to the end. I think it used to be like amusements and like fairground rides on this bit here before you got to the end. But a lot of people will come here and go fishing. That's what a lot of these people will be doing down here. I remember for my musical of my life that I would like recording, it was the song called Coming Out Cafe when my mum finds out that I'm gay at the Jolly Rogers on Clacton Pier.
I came up with the title for that one.
You did. Ed can have the credit of that one. But I think it's very camp. I think it's very fitting.
There's an upside down.
Look at the upside down house over here.
I'm just trying to see if you can see the King's Cliff from here. Should be can.
I think you can see it. It'll be where some of the houses are down there.
Yeah. Oh, I can see it. It's got an orange roof.
Yeah.
Big kind of slightly bluish paintwork.
Where is it?
So do you see there's the dark mound of rocks rocks. So you've got the orangey bit and the huts, and you've got a gap, and there's a dark pile of rocks, and then the next set of smaller huts. So in between the two, if you go straight up, there's the orange roof and the blue walls of the outside. You see it?
So why was there piers, Ed, all along the coast?
Well, so there were piers all the way along the coast from places like Harwich, which was a major kind of port to connect into Europe, and then there would have been piers at kind of most of the major towns along here, like Frinton and Clacton and further on down, all connecting up by packet boat, which would have been a much more convenient way of moving people and things from places like London and the port of Harwich. The packet boats kind of started to fade out around the time that the railways were built, because all of a sudden you could kind of get to all of these places much quicker and more reliably as well, because when the weather's bad the packet ships couldn't run. The packet ships improved a lot when they were able to run on steam. But it was the same steam invention that was ultimately the demise of the packet boat, because then they could run on rails.
So where are we at?
We are in Geo's fish park.
We're in Cambridge.
Hello.
We are in the Regency guest house.
We are.
Just in Cambridge, opposite the square that I can't remember the name of.
Neither can I. It's a really nice big open park.
Yeah, and this room's really cute, isn't it?
Yeah, it was clearly an old house, and they've converted all of the different rooms into bedrooms, and we're in the front room. There's a very nice fireplace. And yeah, I really like the aesthetic in here. It's very cosy. It's kind of touch on modern with some of the colours. The bathroom's really lovely as well.
Yeah, let me just show you the window first, because this for me is the amazing bit. It's one of those old homes that when you walk past in big parks or squares, you can think, who lives in one of these? And you've got an amazing desk here that you can just sit and watch people cycle on their way to university or work. It was quite loud last night though, wasn't it?
It was a bit loud, yeah.
Like we had the window open because the room was so warm, and there were so many students, we presume, out drinking on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, there was loads of people all dressed up very smartly, carrying recycling bins around. So if this was you, I hope you had a lovely evening. It sounded like you were.
To be fair though, we were actually up until about 1 a.m. booking travel for a future trip, so also we were up late.
We were.
This is the bathroom, which is compact but all you need really. Really nice tiles.
Yeah, nice hot shower, big rain kind of rain. What's it called?
Shower head.
Rain shower head.
Rain shower head.
Yep.
So we literally checked into this last night at about 7 o'clock.
Yep.
Got into bed, started doing some research on travel, was booking stuff until we both fell asleep. And now it's time to check out, so we actually haven't left the room really. So it's a nice, beautiful sunny day here in Cambridge. We're going to be heading into the centre to see what all the hubbub is about. This city's very famous, isn't it, Ed?
It is. It's a famous university city. It's probably what it's most famous for. And its university is similar to Oxford, which is made up of a series of colleges.
The plan is to head into the town, have a look around. There's some very historical buildings here, buildings that have been around since medieval times.
I'm sure there are many medieval buildings, yeah.
And then we're going to go to the river, have a look down there before we set off on our way home. Our trip's almost over.
Home time.
Home time.
But we've got another trip to look forward to. So.
We have booked our next trip together, so that's good.
They always say that you should book your next one just as your current one is finishing.
That's very
You've
true.
always got something to look forward to.
We're currently walking down Downing Street here, but not the one that you might think of. This is actually in Cambridge. There is a Downing Street. It houses quite a lot of museums, and we'll show you some in a minute here actually. Look at these amazing old buildings. So grand. Just rows and rows of museums. There's a museum over there. What's that about?
Museum of Archaeology and Anthropology.
Archaeology and Anthropology.
The museum of how we used to live.
That's cool. Interesting. So what, we'll have relics from when we were in like other periods of time?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay.
Most likely.
Interesting. And then there's also a zoology museum, which is just here on the right hand side. And then
the Whipple Museum of the History of Science.
the history of science. This is Ed's tour guide to Cambridge here. What would be inside that museum?
Oh my god. I don't know.
Scientific things.
I guess I'd expect to see stuff about the shift from a religious basis and understanding of the world to a more like observed and evidence-based
Yeah.
understanding.
I think
Maybe
that's...
some bits about like the different instruments that we use. I don't know, I'm just making it up. Probably.
I think that's quite a good shout, to be honest, because yeah, there was a massive shift, wasn't there, in time, from where religion was always true fact, and then science starts to provide other details to say
There's a bit more to this.
yeah.
Although I've been let down by expectations of museums before, like when I went to the Manchester Transport Museum, and I got asked at the end by a volunteer for some feedback, and I said, oh, what feedback would you offer? And he said, oh, it's a very nice museum. It's a bit bus heavy for a transport museum, given Manchester's rich railway history and tram history. I expect a bit more about that. And he said, well, to be honest, it's actually a bus museum, but if we called it that, nobody would come.
They definitely wouldn't. I mean, unless anyone on here is interested in just attending a bus museum, then yeah, I don't think so. So look at these beautiful houses you've got here as well. These will be dating back many, many years. So this is a rarity now. A red telephone box. Does it work?
It's got a phone number.
Yeah.
Should we ring it?
Is it a dial tone? Yeah.
Is it
Do you want to ring it?
Ring it. So when I lived in Stratford and I didn't have a phone, I didn't have a mobile, I didn't have a landline because they were too expensive. There was this phone box at the end of the street, so I used to have to go there to receive phone calls. And you'd like arrange a specific time for somebody to ring you.
Just before mobile phones.
Mobile phones were around, but they were too expensive.
Uh-huh.
Hello.
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 That's crazy. And then, it's not cheap though, is it, to use these?
No, 60p minimum, and then how much is it after that?
Yeah, it says you need to at least have available 4 coins to be able to make a call. But a lot of these telephone boxes now don't work anymore. They've taken phones out because everyone has a mobile. So you'll find that some of them are, for example, this is a ticket office for one of the tours here in Cambridge. There's also some of them that might have like defibrillators in them, so if people are having a heart attack, they can open the phone box and get to a device that will help you to do CPR. But many of them are no longer here anymore now.
Yeah.
So this is a true relic, this telephone box.
Yeah, there's a fraction of them still working.
Mm.
It's funny though, because like you'd arrange someone to ring you at like 7:30 in the evening. So if you stood out in the rain, because obviously it'd be raining, and there'd be someone using a bloody phone.
You have to ask them to leave. Like, excuse me, I have someone here waiting to call me.
They were on the phone, so you just wait, you know, and then the person that was trying to ring would just have to keep trying until eventually they get through. But if there was a queue of people, which there very occasionally was, sometimes the person who's trying to call you would like ring the number and get the person in the queue in front of you.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, this is in what, 2004, 5, 6?
Much more difficult times, really, when it came to managing. Much more difficult times when it came to having phone calls and arranging to meet people. So where are we now, Ed?
We are currently walking along the banks of the River Cam, of which the bridge crossing the Cam gives Cambridge its name.
Give Cambridge its...
Gives Cambridge its name.
Interesting. Cam for Cam Bridge. The bridge of the Cam.
That's what I just said.
Oh wow, I never even knew that. Thank you. And then we've got a lock coming up here, haven't we? Because there's lots of canal boats over there on the other side of the river. And so the river flows down that side over there, and then over here you've got a lock that you can use to move the boat down. Should we go have a look how that works?
Yeah.
Okay. Underneath the bridge. Wow, very bendy.
Yeah, lovely.
So your boat would come into here, but to get the water there to go up, you would need to shut this gate here first, over here. So you would shut this gate, then what you would do is you would release through the poles where water starts to fill up into this chamber, and eventually this chamber matches the level of the river up here, and then you'll be able to open these gates, bring your boat in. When the boat's in here, you shut these gates behind you, and you would shut the little gaps where the water would be flooding down, and then you would start to open the flaps at the top here, and that starts to allow that water to come out into the main river, the level lower. And then once those levels are the same like they are now, you can see then the doors will open easily and let you go through. Have I got that right?
Absolutely spot on.
This is the canal boat expert over here. It's the same as like a narrow boat, but an actual just wooden house.
It's a houseboat.
It doesn't look like it's in a great condition. But that like side window is about to collapse in. So the park that we've just walked past, and we're walking past the last little bit of it now, is known as Jesus Green. Why is it known as Jesus Green, Ed?
Well, through the limited research I've just done, by research I mean Googling, the Jesus Green is called Jesus Green because it was gifted to the city by Jesus College, which is very, very nearby. So at one point they owned the land, and they gifted, or at least allow people to use the land, don't know which. It does seem to be maintained by Cambridge City Council, so I'm guessing it was gifted. It led me on to another question. A lot of these green areas in the city are called pieces, and I've never really come across that before, like a park being referred to a piece.
Yeah.
So on a little bit more reading, many of those pieces are named after the associated college or landowner nearby, like Parker's Piece, which was the piece of land next to where we were staying last night.
Okay.
And again, very similar, that the landowner gave a piece of the land for people to use.
So it's because it was a piece of their land they were giving away that's why they've been called pieces, not parks.
Yeah.
Interesting. And so this brings our road trip to an end in Cambridge.
Certainly in Cambridge, we've still got another 187 miles to drive home, so
Yeah,
there
but
may
that's-
be more scintillating content coming.
That's not
your
going to be
way.
interesting for anyone to watch us drive for 3 hours.
But we could stop somewhere fascinating or amazing.
But we'll probably do the end of the video now,
Okay, yeah, let's do
just to wrap up our 4-day trip
that. 4-day trip.
back to our childhood homes,
Yeah,
ahead of me leaving the UK for a year
indeed.
and Ed coming to visit me. But we wanted to, my therapist said it in an amazing way, we're like reconnecting with our roots before we go and grow new branches on our trees. And I love that. Like, we've kind of both gone back to places we both lived, had really nice childhood memories, some that weren't so nice, but you know, we've kind of got to understand each other a bit more.
Yeah, definitely been able to, you can totally, I think when you go and see the places that your partner grew up in, I think you start to really understand a lot more about why we do the things we do, and you know, see your partner with a little more gentleness and compassion, and for me anyway, it just definitely helps me to grow that love and understanding, which is really nice.
Yeah.
I'd highly recommend it to anyone is to do a trip with your partner back to where they are from, and use it as a time to really understand and explore.
I mean, this is obviously if you have not lived in one place the whole of your life. We've moved around quite a bit across our lives, even from kids. So there's a lot of places to go back to and trigger those memories and just sit in those moments, which are really exciting and interesting. So what would be the highlight of the trip for you, Ed?
I don't know. I was just going to say, so bye-bye from Cambridge.
So that's it from us. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye from Cambridge.
Bye-bye from Cambridge. See you somewhere else.